You're listening to Media Savvy Moms with Melody and Marilyn, a podcast by Parents Aware, your go-to for information on how to talk to kids and teens about pornography and healthy sexuality. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Media Savvy Moms. Today is a Q&A. That's our little bit shorter of a show where we answer questions from our audience and sometimes dispel little myths about talking to parents about pornography and healthy sexuality with our kids. If you have a question you'd like to submit to the show, you can email us at admin@parentsaware.info or contact us through our social media, and we will answer your questions on the show. Today's question is, will talking about porn make my kids go looking for it?
Melody, this was so me. This was a big fear that I had, and I hope I'm not alone, and I don't think I am. I think this is a common, I'll say misconception. I had that misconception that parents have. So to answer that question, I want to stress that porn is what inspires people, kids, adults to look at porn. It's not the conversation about the harms of pornography that inspires people to look at porn. So, the other thing is that kids are curious by nature. This is really important. Kids learn through curiosity. They could be curious about sex, they could be curious about porn, they can be curious about anything secret and unknown. And what I learned is that I had to put certain conversations on the table. I had to put pornography on the table so that I could appease that curiosity in a healthy way.
Fair. That's fair and just totally valid. I was thinking about this question from a little bit different of an angle.
Sure.
So I wonder why. So we're parents, right? We teach our kids to be careful and safe and protected from dangerous things all the time. We teach them from the time they're little, don't run in the street, don't touch the hot stove. As they get older, say no to drugs, right? These are all like things that, of course, we teach them these things. Do we worry then that they're going to go run into the street just to see if it's dangerous? Or that because we say don't touch the hot stove, they'll be like, I don't believe you, and they'll touch the hot stove? Or if we say, if you smoke, it's going to turn your lungs black, then they'll go and they'll be like, gee, I wonder if mom's really right. I'm going to go smoke, I mean, I'm being a little bit overboard with my description here, but why do we worry so much? We're not telling them about pornography in a way where we're making it sound alluring, right?
Yeah.
Just
And
we're warning them.
to your point, I have a child who touched the hot stove just because we told him it was hot. And we had to go to the hospital with those burns on his hand. I mean, we literally watched him put his hand on it. But I still had the conversation with him, right?
Mhm.
Accidents can happen or the curiosity can lead to certain things, but it wasn't me telling him that the stove was hot.
That made him
That
do
made
it,
him do
right?
it. It was that burning curiosity.
It's true. And I did, as
Mm.
I was thinking to myself and thinking through this argument, that we do have kids that are going to be curious anyway. And having the conversation doesn't guarantee that our kids are going to be safe and they're never going to go looking. And that's not what we're saying either, right?
Yeah, and that's what he never touched the stove again.
Right.
Talking to kids, they won't be more curious or less curious. I really want to hit that home. Um, they will know where to go for the answers and the information when that hot stove or when that inappropriate image comes across their screen because you've had that conversation, then they have that safe place to go to have that conversation.
Ah,
I just
yes.
repeated conversation.
That's what we're here. Are you getting the message? We want to have those conversations with our kids. That is what we're all about though, right? We want to have that safe place. We want to be the default search engine. We want our kids to come to us instead of Google. That's what we're doing, right? They're going to
Mhm.
be curious. It's a human need. We want information. We're going to learn. What we're doing is providing that pathway for them to be us instead of Google, instead of their friends on the play yard, instead of the kids on the bus, right?
Absolutely. And and if you feel like this didn't happen overnight for me, it didn't take one conversation for me to stop stressing and thinking that I'm going to be the guilty party here, that I'm going to inspire my kids. But keep at it, do it, have that conversation. And in fact, I asked my kids after a period of time, I said, these conversations that we're having, does that actually make you more interested to look? And they're like, oh, Mom, that's not how it works. It just
Okay.
doesn't work that way.
So, out of the mouth of moms, out of the mouth of kids. This is our experience, guys. Okay. So, we've got a resource for you. What is the resource, Marilyn?
We're going to have you listen to Beware of the Rattlesnakes, Safeguarding Your Kids Against Pornography. And this is one of our very first episodes that we recorded, but um, really it comes down to an experience that I had with my kids while we were hiking in the mountains, and there were rattlesnakes in those mountains. And my husband was always telling the kids what to do to stay safe. We didn't just hike in the mountains, we told them what was there.
That's exactly what we're doing with pornography. So, a little quote to get you thinking from Eleanor Roosevelt. I think at a child's birth, if a mother could ask a fairy godmother to endow it with the most useful gift, that would be curiosity. It's a human need, guys. So, what's our challenge for today, Marilyn?
I want us to see that curiosity is a good thing for our kids. So how can we direct them to use that curiosity in healthy ways? And I thought, why not the challenge be to discover where your child's curiosity is leading them right now? And it doesn't have to be down dangerous paths. Just ask your kids what makes what's on their mind right now. And we had an episode with Kaylee Lynch, episode 220. Ooh, that's gross, revisiting the sex talk. And she talked about one of her kids having a question of the day and sitting side by side with him on Google looking for answers. So find out what makes your kids tick right now. You might know already, but I bet there's one or two things that they're curious about that you don't know. So find out. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Media Savvy Moms podcast. For detailed show notes and links to any of the resources mentioned today, visit parentsaware.info. To connect with us on social media, find us on Instagram at Media Savvy Moms and on Facebook and Twitter at Parents Aware. We would love to get your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast. Until next week, let's keep talking.